Do you ever feel like God's clock is ticking faster than your prayers? I've been there, staring at a calendar that seems to mock my deepest hopes, wondering why the door I've been knocking on remains shut. The waiting season can feel like an endless hallway, each step echoing with unanswered questions. Yet the Bible invites us into a different rhythm, a rhythm that trusts the one who holds eternity in his hands. Today I want to walk you through 3 movements that reveal why waiting on God's timing is not a punishment, but a precious invitation to grow in faith, hope, and obedience. First, we must understand that God's timing is rooted in his perfect character. In Psalm chapter 37 verse 7 we read, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes." The psalmist is not merely telling us to be passive. He is calling us into a posture of reverent stillness before a sovereign God. When we look at the original Hebrew, the word for be still conveys a deep, restful surrender, a laying down of our own agenda. God's timing reflects his wisdom, not our limited perspective. Think about Abraham, who waited decades for the promised son. He could have given up after years of childlessness. Yet God used that waiting to build Abraham's trust and to shape a lineage that would become a nation. In the same way, every delay we experience can be a canvas where God paints the colors of patience, humility, and deeper reliance on him. Second, waiting refines our character by stretching our faith. In the New Testament, Jesus tells us in Luke chapter 21 verse 19, "When you stand before the Son of Man, you will find that it is not your time, but mine that matters." This may sound harsh, but it reminds us that divine timing is about God's purpose, not our convenience. I remember a season 3 years ago when I applied for a ministry position that felt like the next milestone in my life. After months of interviews and follow-up, I received a polite rejection. I was crushed, yet that very disappointment redirected me toward a volunteer role in a community center, where I discovered a gift for counseling that I had never explored. That pivot was not an accident. It was God's way of stretching me into a new area of service that aligned with his greater plan for my life. Those moments of waiting are the crucible where our raw ambitions are purified into godly desires. Third, waiting invites us to practice active trust. Trust is not passive. It is a daily decision to place our hopes in the one who cannot lie. In Romans chapter 8 verse 28 we are assured, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." When we choose to trust, we can transform the waiting room into a place of worship. Imagine a farmer who plants seeds in early spring, knowing the harvest will not appear for months. He waters, weeds, and watches, not because he expects immediate return, but because he trusts the natural order God designed. Likewise, we can nurture our prayers with worship, gratitude, and service while we wait. By doing so, we participate in God's ongoing work, even when the results are not yet visible. Let me share a personal story that illustrates these 3 movements. A few years back, my wife and I felt called to move to a new city for a plant-based ministry opportunity. We prayed, packed, and said goodbye to friends, but the job offer fell through at the last minute. The disappointment was heavy, our plans dissolved, and we were left with an empty house and a bank account that barely covered the bills. In that valley, we began to spend evenings in the local park, sharing free Bible studies with anyone who would listen. Slowly, a small group formed, and what started as an unexpected detour became a thriving community that still meets today. Looking back, I realized that the delay forced us to plant seeds in a place we would never have considered. God's timing turned our frustration into fruitfulness and gave us a testimony of faith that continues to inspire others. So how do we apply this truth today? First, adopt a posture of stillness. When the waiting feels unbearable, pause and invite God into the silence. Let your heart echo the psalmist's words, "Be still before the Lord." Second, view each delay as a refining fire. Ask yourself, what is God shaping in me right now? Write down the character traits you see growing: patience, humility, dependence. Third, convert waiting into worship. Sing a hymn, read a passage, serve someone nearby. Let the act of trusting become visible in your daily steps. In closing, remember that God's timing is never a mistake. He is orchestrating a masterpiece that we cannot fully see from our limited viewpoint. When we surrender our clock to His, we discover that the waiting season is not a void but a space filled with divine purpose. May you find peace in the pause, strength in the silence, and joy in the journey, knowing that the one who promised never forgets. Let the promise of Psalm chapter 37 verse 7 anchor your heart. Be still, wait patiently, and trust that He is working for your good even when you cannot see it yet.